Good morning, Mr. Aker.
Yes,
How are you today?
I'm fine, thanks.
Could you please tell me something about ADmantX?
ADmantX is a contextual data provider for the ad industry. So we read, understand, analyze very deeply pages of content.
Okay.
It's written there. We look for categories, IAB compliant categories. We look for emotions. Emotions being the kind of response an audience member would experience in consuming the content. We look for entities, people, places, and things, and then we pull all that together and provide that as a data set to enhance audience understanding, to optimize ad placements, to provide safety measurement before an ad is placed on a page. That's us in a nutshell.
That's great. Well, how do you have any certain pattern or certain rating parameters with which you do this, or is it like something that is created or customized as per the client's requirements?
Very good question. So we have a standard set of about 800 to 900 categories, very deep sets of categorization, another 120 or so of emotions, a limitless set of the entities, identifying names and titles and holidays and money and measurement and things like that. But we also have a process by which you can combine any of those things into something wholly new. So many advertisers demand the customization based on their campaign goals that frustrate most standard lists. The moment the list is done, it's obsolete in the eyes of individual advertisers. So we build on top of everything I just described a process to be able to quickly combine all prior things into something wholly new and then execute on it right away.
Okay. How would you rate yourselves in the industry of this content targeting, semantic targeting?
Yeah. So we've been at this game even before digital advertising came into space. The process of getting a machine to read and understand content online for 20 years. That puts us at the head of a very small group of people who do this kind of work, this content targeting or contextual targeting, now often referred to as semantic targeting.
Right. And how big is the market, so to say?
Well, we work for all buyers and all sellers and all kinds of intermediaries, programmatic guys in between. We're placed on AppNexus, for example, as one of the exchange as a programmatic intermediary. We work for lots of publishers, obviously, because they create the content to begin with. But lots of buyers want the assurance that where their ads will be placed are both appropriate and optimized.
Any particular situation in your experience which is quite remarkable and which you would say was a challenge working on this kind of a study pertaining to a set of clients or maybe a one particular client, if you can name some?
Well, we work very extensively for NBC. And in their case, we've done some really interesting work, challenging but interesting work. They asked us not only to measure the content on the page, but the environment in which it sits. So the two examples that we use there are stocks and weather.
Okay.
So if an audience member looks like it's all the signals from the audience segmentation says this would be a good ad for them, and if the content says it's good, but the environment, the example being something like a page all about Apple, and it's positive, let's say, and the audience member is predisposed to buy Apple product, that would be a good placement for an Apple ad. But on the right-hand side of the page, Apple stock happens to be trending down that day, then maybe the environment takes over and blocks everything else out.
True.
Okay?
All right.